Hello, my name is Katie Tidwell, and today I'm going to talk to you about the death penalty. There are over 2,500 people awaiting execution in the U.S., according to the American Civil Liberties Union. The death penalty has been a widely debated topic, and there are still 31 states in the United States where it's legal. However, I believe the death penalty is unethical and should be outlawed. Out of the 195 countries in the world, 143 have banned the death penalty. It is an archaic practice that has no place in modern society. This form of corporal punishment is imposed disproportionately on minorities, it does not deter crime, and there's a high chance of executing an innocent person. There is a clear discrepancy in how the death penalty is applied based on race in the United States. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, Hispanic and Black people represent only 30% of the US population, but 53% of death row inmates. A study done by the University of North Carolina shows the odds of getting the death penalty increased 3.5 times if the victim was white rather than black. Between 2000 and 2012, there were only 12 people who had been executed where the defendant was white and the victim was black, compared to 178 cases where the defendant was black and the victim was white. Another justification for abolishing the death penalty is that it does not deter crime. Generally, society believes that if someone knows they could face the death penalty, they are less likely to commit violent crimes. Instead, research shows the opposite is true. Richard Dieter, director of the Death Penalty Information Center, gave his testimony in front of the Senate. He stated that the states without the death penalty have significantly lower murder rates than their counterparts. He also stated that of the 4 regions in the US, the South, which carries out 80% of all executions in the US, has the highest murder rate. Conversely, the Northeast, which implements only 1% of executions, has the lowest murder rate in the country. Also, many violent crimes are committed on the spur of the moment, which means the individual is not actively thinking of the potential punishment that could come from their actions. Dr. Jonathan Groner, who was a professor at Ohio State University, said that the nation's murder rate is most closely associated with the socioeconomic health of the country. The murder rate was highest in the US during the Depression. Also, he said that a very high percentage of people on death row have mental health problems. Mental Health America estimates that 5 to 10% of all death row inmates suffer from a severe mental illness. And there are no laws making it illegal to execute someone suffering from mental health issues. Good access to healthcare and improving the socioeconomic health of our country's cities would reduce the murder rate more effectively than executions. Furthermore, the death penalty brings the chance of executing an innocent person. According to the Equal Justice Initiative, since 1976, over 170 people have been exonerated after serving time on death row. Inmates typically spend at least a decade on death row before being exonerated or executed. Those that were exonerated had access to new scientific techniques like DNA testing, the work of prominent attorneys, and investigations by journalists rather than the normal appeals process. Most death row inmates have a public defender and cannot afford their own attorney or forensic experts. One instance of someone being wrongly sentenced to death is the case of Charles Fain. He was sentenced to death in 1982 for the murder of a young girl. During Fain's trial, they relied on unvalidated forensic evidence and the testimony of 2 jailhouse informants. These informants told investigators that Fain told them the graphic details of the crime while sharing a cell with him. In 2001, additional DNA testing was done, and it was revealed that the hair found at the crime scene was not Charles Fain's. He was exonerated after serving 18 years on death row. His case is only one of many. Based on the facts presented today, it's clear the death penalty is unethical. It disproportionately affects minorities. Too many innocent people have been executed, and it does not deter crime. As Senator Raymond Lesniak said, the death penalty encourages a society that believes it needs to seek revenge over redemption. A society that turns its back on redemption commits itself to holding on to anger and a need for vengeance. Redemption instead opens the door to healing and peace. Thank you.